Hello and welcome to the Digital Nomad podcast. My name is Gonçalo Hall and I am the host of the podcast who talks about the best and the best of the best inside the remote work movement. Today's guests are two incredible people I met in Madeira and who travel around the world in all our communities at NomadX. They met in Madeira in the banana co-living space, and now they are building this incredible, unbelievable pop-up community in Sardinia. It's a foodie community. Imagine in the south of Italy enjoying the best Italian food in the world. All organic, all beautiful, while enjoying and working around a beautiful community. That's what they are building at Casa Basilico co-living in Sardinia. So, if you are curious about their project, you do need to hear the whole thing because they share every single detail. And trust me, you will want to visit them by the end. And probably, just like me, you will want a pizza. This is what's happening after recording the podcast. So make sure you listen. Please listen carefully and get inspired by Julia and Fabio. Fabio and Julia, welcome to the podcast.
Thank
Hi.
you.
Ciao.
Yeah. We start half Italian because you guys are in Italy and this podcast is all about what you guys are building there. But I want to start from the start, surprisingly, which is with how all this project came to be. How did you two guys met? How this idea of building Casa Basilico and where you are building it and what's all around it, the food, the community. I have so many questions about what you guys are building because I love it. And we are talking here before we started the podcast on how much envy I have right now inside me because I was a father 3 weeks ago and these guys are enjoying life, eating pasta, pizza, and God knows what more. So guys, starting from the beginning, now, how did you two guys met, and what was the basis to start a project together?
Okay, it's a long story, but we'll
Long
try to.
story
We
make
have
it
short.
time.
short.
We all have time. We all have time.
Okay, I will start a little bit before we met because in the, let's say, 1 year and a half, and the last 1 year and a half, I've been going in so many places from one co-living to the other, and every time, since I'm Italian, I like to cook. My way to meet new people and start to break the ice was always make a tiramisu or make the first pasta. And this thing, I noticed that it worked because a lot of people were shy at the beginning. Then you put a bit of pasta in the table, some bottles of wine, the tiramisu after, and everyone started to connect a little bit more. And I did that a few times in different places, and people start to say, "Oh, that's actually nice. You have good energy. You can try to do a co-living, maybe something like that." But I was always, no, that's just something that I do because I like to do that. And then I start to heard about Madeira from other nomads that I met in different places from Spain, France, also in Italy. And so I started to follow the project on Instagram. I started to read, and so I said, okay, Madeira can be my place, and I choose Ponta do Sol because it was a small town, and I'm from a small town in Sardinia,
Nice.
so I wanted something similar, some vibe there, and I contacted for a co-living there, and that's how I met Jules because Jules was there for a longer time. You can continue.
Taking over the
You
mic.
you can take over your part.
Yeah, so I was in Madeira for a few months already because you arrived in September. I was there since June. And I was invited there by Gonzalo. I was a community manager in Madeira. And this is like insane because actually before recording this podcast, I was actually on the beach thinking, wait, like a year ago, I actually got memory in my phone saying that we met with Gonzalo to have a conversation about my role there, like about becoming a community manager in Madeira. So I feel like this is so insane that only in 1 year we are here in another co-living in Italy with people that we met in Madeira. So this is just, I think it's insane story. So yeah, I think Fabio is totally on point with the fact that food really brings people together. And as a community manager, I can say that it always worked. And in previous months, we were always doing, I don't know, community dinner in Banana House on Thursday or Friday, and maybe after party. But it never was in the extent to what happened in September when Fabio arrived, because I think we built like a little family from day one. People just gathered around the table and we never left the table for the whole month. Many of us changed jobs because of that.
It was actually a weird situation because I knew that I was arrived in Banana House in Madeira in the fourth day. And they already went out a few days before me arriving, so I was, the group is already there, so I I have to break the ice even more. So when I arrived the first night, I spoke a little bit with Jules, and so I said, okay, let's try to do a pasta together. So I went to buy some very simple things from the gas station in front of Banana House, and we cook amatriciana, that is a pasta, a very simple pasta. And so everyone was like, okay, I don't know if I have to cook for myself or if I can eat your food all together. They were quite shy at the beginning. And now all those people are here, actually. They understood the concept. And everyone started to like that, and so I did that like for a couple of weeks, like with a lot of effort and a lot of fun. And then everyone started to cook his own stuff. So it's not only my food and my culture, is Poland, is Bolivia, doesn't matter where we're from. If you have something, even if you don't know how to do that, you call your mom and you learn how to do that on the go. And that's actually extremely powerful. And after September group, we had another group and we did the same thing, and it worked perfectly. Like the group immediately went all together, and they started to be more friends and to be more connected with each other, just with a very simple thing.
Yeah, then I saw you repeated this in several countries, right? I saw this in Cape Verde. I saw this in Brazil more recently. You're basically testing out the market to see if it really works. The tiramisu networking, as we can call it now.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
I love it.
In Capo Verde was challenging as well, because it was harder to find things. But because you go in the shop, you can find gorgonzola one day, and then you want it the day after, you are not gonna find it
for a week
or more. But in the end, you can always improvise and do different things. And in Capo Verde, it worked because we put all the group together again. And in Brazil, even bigger, because we had this big house, and the group was even more international because the number of Europeans was lower. So there were a lot of people from South America, a lot of people from Canada, US. So all of these different cultures together, again, everyone around the table. In the end, the food is just an excuse because cooking takes 3 hours and you eat for 20 minutes. And those 3 hours are the moment where you are really connecting with people and talking and engaging.
I remember this. Like, I was in Croatia 7, 8, 9 years ago, a long time ago. And there was an Erasmus Plus project that brought 5 people from different countries. So there was Portuguese, there was Croatian, there was Polish, there was Italians. And I remember one of the days we spent the whole day, I'm not joking, it was a 10-hour process doing gnocchi. And it was probably one of the best days. Like, there was some internal disagreements, etc. On that day, everybody was doing gnocchis for 10 hours. That, we ate for 20 minutes. But though that process does really connect people, and it's something incredible. Like, we are in the South, me as a Portuguese, but you guys in Italy, you do this even 10 times better than us. And it's really true that the cooking is what connects the people, and I love it. And we will touch in your project in a little bit. But first, I wanted to ask Jules, how does you were a community manager in Madeira, which was super cool. We have you here for a long time, and then in Cape Verde. How did this experience leading two completely different communities into completely different countries helps you now doing your own project, which is part of what I love about this. And what did you bring from these communities that you are now implementing in Casa Basilico?
Yeah, I think that was a huge learning curve. For Madeira was a bit of a playground. So in Madeira, everything was set up already, right? So I came and, the Slack community there was a lot of nomads already and everything was established. So I was kind of following, all the path was already established for me as a community manager there with activities, with, posting on Slack and everything. So it felt much more like organic and natural to follow this flow. And then like it was a great, learning for me. And then from that, I was like ready to take all of this and bring it to Cup of It. And I think Cape Verde for sure was much more challenging because there were many people that were modding for the first time, and the group was smaller. It wasn't there was no external activities. So like in Madeira, we have Madeira Fitness Friends. We have all the associations and all this stuff available around. So I think in Cape Verde it was all about building everything from scratch for the group. And also, I think the group had a lot of expectations that we're gonna organize everything from them. So I think it was great to have this background data and be ready. Okay, so people want yoga, people want workouts, people want to go out in the evenings, and like I understood what brings people together, and I was able to copy paste that into that experience. And I think with Casa Basilico, following up to Basilico, then we kind of understood with Fabio, because we went to Africa together as well, that what actually worked the best in September was the combination of my organizational skills and like knowing how to build a community and like how to engage with people, with Fabio's like knowledge how to gather people around the table and make fun and just I don't know. I think all together it's what creates community.
Because it's always a balance, because you can have a community that are pretty strict. They work a lot of like mindful communities with a lot of yoga.
Yeah.
And there's also the other side that can be too much party, and so you don't catch up with work anymore and you don't sleep. And in the end, what it works is a balance, because everyone wants to party a bit, and everyone wants to have me time and relax. And a place like Madeira was perfect because of that. Because if you want to party, you have a Purple Friday. If you want to relax, you take a walk to Madrenador, and you are the happiest person in the world. So I think this is what actually make me understand what a community is about. A community that I can enjoy is about.
Oh, I love it. And tell us, we have food, we have wine, we have community, and we have all this connection of people. It already looks perfect to me. What is Casa Basilico? What are you building, or what it's actually implemented already? Because you already have people there. Tell us, what is this? What is Casa Basilico?
That's a hard one.
So, in my opinion, Casa Basilico is a pop-up community.
Yes.
It's not only a pop-up co-living, because there's not only one house here. We have three for now, and hopefully in the next ones we will be more. It's a community that travels in different places, and we all are together because we really like sharing food together and eating together and cooking together. Doesn't matter if we go to restaurants or we eat in our home. That's what we really love and we want to do together. And here, of course, it's the first time, but we already tried this out in on different places, and everyone since the first day already knew the game. I already knew that, okay, now it's time to eat. Now we go to do groceries, and the cart is full of pasta.
Literally, like our first groceries, we were betting how much are we gonna spend. I think we spent like 650 euros.
Yes.
And we were like, ooh.
Yeah, but there's food for a lot of days. And there's a lot of cheese. And yeah, and so that's the cool thing, that most of the people, they already have the idea in their mind. Everyone knows what Casa Basilico is. Everyone knows, okay, I'm going there and I will enjoy food. Here is Sardinia, I will enjoy local food, like really, really real things that you can have only here. And so for me, it's easy because this is the place that I know the best. But of course, this can be done everywhere. And yeah, that's it. Basically, it's this sharing this moment around the table before eating and while eating, of course. And in the rest of the day, we are basically speaking only about food. No joking.
I
Sometimes you
love
are
it.
eating about
The next
the
meal.
next meal.
But
I
I
like.
also think that
Go.
sorry, I also think that it's kind of a balance, like as Fabio said. So we are the community of nomads, and when you have nomads traveling to different co-livings, they have in common the fact that they are nomads, that they travel and work remotely. And here we even more niche down. So we are like, okay, so you love traveling, you like beautiful Italian beaches, let's say, you love like I think this whole concept of yoga, gym, because before we prepared all the projects, we were like establishing what's going to happen in Casa Basilico. And of course, food was the main focus, but we also mentioned that, yeah, we're going to do activities like, we will have other stuff that nomads are interested in. So we have all this included. So nomads are, keen to join because they are passionate about this. But also our niche is Italy, is food, is sharing, spreading the love through cooking. That's our motto.
Yeah.
And we all love to
one
eat. We all love
Yes.
to eat. So it's like,
Who doesn't like eating? It's like
it's super easy. Another thing that I noticed that we always do, and this may be something that is more related to us because we work like this with people, is the fact that sometimes when you go in nomad communities or some meetups, you can get lost in small talk quite easily. So what's your job? Where are you from? Making some jokes about the fact that Italian and Spanish languages are similar. That fun fact, they are not that similar. But instead for us, I really don't want to know exactly what your job is about. I want to know about you. I want to know what are your problems. I want to share with me some really joyful moment of your life, or maybe some sad moment. And this is the way that we have to make connection. We make connection between each other in this way. In September, we really made connection in Madeira in this way, and we replicate this always. And we have way more friends now, and real friends, not people that
come and go.
Yeah, not people that come and go, people that stay, people that you meet again after. And that's the real meaning of all of this.
Yeah.
it's fun because your group here in Madeira was the second group that really connected. So we have what we call the OGs, the first community that went here in the first 3 months from February to May. And those guys are family now. They are right now in the Philippines. Some of them are there, I think, but they are divided between the Philippines and Casa Basilico right now. And you guys were the second group that really clicked and all became friends at the same time. And that's what we build these communities for. And I think now you will actually do this. I think people that will meet at Casa Basilico will leave there with deep relationships like you guys did here. And for me, that's the best. And I love that you are a foodie co-living. Like, it's so hard to find a foodie place. We are all foodies. We all the digital nomads love local food. We all love the experience, and we are always lost. Like, once we go to Italy, we have no idea. We are kind of tourists, and here we have a local showing us not just where to eat, but cooking, which is like, I tried their tiramisu. I know what life is on that side of the world.
By the way, they tried my mom's tiramisu.
It's something else.
It's better.
Can you imagine even better?
I have to learn more.
But you mentioned Sardinia, so you are doing this first pop-up community in Sardinia. Where in Sardinia is it, and why did you choose this place?
So we choose Tortoli basically because it's on the coast and it's a touristic place, but it's not that touristic. It doesn't get that busy even in the summer. And we are really close to a lot of very important places like Golfo di Rosei or Costa Rey. And so we can take the car, go there for the weekend, enjoy the beach, do some activities there, and then come back. It's not that expensive, and that's another thing that was important. And also we had enough structures, like a nice big house that we can use. We have shop pretty close, right? Big shop that we can find literally everything. And this is the main reason. And then we choose Sardinia because it's I'm playing home here, so I know the people. We can go to I can ask to do activities with someone that I know, that I trust. Go in some restaurants that I know, with someone that I trust, and this is helping a lot because I'm kind of showing my culture to my friends, and we are enjoying it together. And actually, I'm discovering it as well, because there's a lot of new things that I never being able to do, and now I can do that finally.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
cool. Go.
it's like the double. I also think that I think I already mentioned to you, Gonzalo, that I really find Tortoli as a little Ponte do Sol in Italy, because it's not the same, but like there are some features that I am looking for when we are like in a new place. And for example, like we have beach within walking distance. It's like 5 minutes walk. We have a sea view from here. It's very quiet. It's very quiet area, where you can like go for, I don't know, 2 hours walk around the village and you barely meet someone. But at the same time, as Fabio said, we have the gym, we have, I don't know, Pilates, Zumba, whatever you ask for, a huge supermarket, and we are within driving distance to like all the places that are important to visit in here. So I think this is like a sweet spot. When we were researching the place, we didn't dig that much, and we were
Yes.
actually surprised when we arrived. Okay, this is perfect.
Like everything was perfect from the beginning. Everything was pretty aligned for us.
I love it. So there was this conversation for a long time about Sardinia, about the south of Italy and its potential inside the nomad community. This is not new. I keep hearing new ideas, new retreats, always things happening, but we don't yet see Sardinia or somebody just going with the community like you mentioned, which I would love to see. What do you think now that you are there, now that you have the feedback of the people that are with you, not just about the food, but about the place? What is the feedback? And do you believe that Sardinia has the potential to actually now become a nomad hub?
In my opinion, it totally has. I always been thinking about that, but I never saw someone doing it in a modern way. I saw something that was happening. There's some actually there's a lot of co-living in the center of Sardinia, and we actually are connecting with them. But what is needed is something that all the nomads want. They want to be in a place that is not that big, that has enough services, and is close to the beach. And here, that's the place, and the potential is here.
Yeah.
Like I know the beauty of Sardinia, of course, because I grew up here. But before starting, I was already I was a bit scary, and I was thinking, what if they don't like it? Because the nomads have been everywhere, and beautiful places in their worlds are everywhere. So I was kind of scary, and then after the first 2 or 3 days, everyone was like crying for the beauty, for the colors, for the weather, everything. It's really perfect, and the potential is here. Of course, as to be a bit more famous around the nomad communities, but it's totally feasible. And this project today is proving that it's feasible, and we can work from here. We can have the real local life if we want, and we can connect with the locals. It's totally feasible.
I love it. And let's talk about the locals, because I think it's really, really important. Economic-wise, Sardinia is also usually seen as one of the poorest regions in Italy. At the same time, in the summer, it is full for tourism as most of the Southern Europe. But there is like 9 months where probably it's very hard to keep a job in Sardinia outside tourism, right? How do you see the local economic and social impacts? And I know you are very small, you just started and it's going really well, but thinking about expanding in the future, and if you can in the future, and we'll go there and dream about expansion in Sardinia, what would be the local impact, both social and economic, that you would like to have in Sardinia?
So opinion, Sardinia is very so Sardinian tourism is concentrated in a couple of months, just July and August. Just July and August are really expensive, really busy. I was coming back from university every August, and I hate that because you can't do anything. It's really too much. And there's so many months outside this period where the weather is really nice and everything starts in April. So from April to October, you can totally enjoy everything in Sardinia. You can have a really paradisiac beach only for you, and the prices are still quite low because all these houses in the place that we are right now, they are empty. It's not that easy to rent during April, May, June because Italian tourists, they don't come here because they are still working. They have the holidays only in July and August. I think it's quite similar in Portugal. So uh, I think that there's a lot of potential to use those structures and to use those moments in the year and to make to actually improve the tourism in all this period and have like a longer season starting from April to October.
Yeah, I also think that we, as nomads, as Casa Basilico, we've been here only like 11 days, and we already saw like how fascinated locals are about the project. Like everyone is asking, like, who are you? What is this group? What are you doing? You work remotely? Like, what is this? Like, what digital nomadism is? They are totally not aware that something like this exists. And even the owner of our house is so excited. He's like, please tag me on every Instagram story you can and promote my house and everything. And it's just amazing to be part of it because, as Fabio said, it's everything is so local and small. Like, you know, the food is organic. Everyone around is so welcoming and warm, and it just feels like you are home. And it feels good to like give back to them as well. So, as you know, I know, Gonzalo, that you are like all about like connection with locals and like giving back to the places we go to. And I think this is perfect. And everyone around, at least from our experience so far, is so excited to have us. We've been this weekend to like a local organic winery with a guy that had exactly the same values as we are, like simplicity, sharing the love, doing like living slow. And like we spent hours there drinking wine with him, playing with his dog, and he was so excited about the project as well. So it just feels, it's so rewarding to give and receive. So I think it could work, totally could work, like outside the high season.
It also, it's not only about time, not only about the moment of the year. We can make an impact on the different moments of the year, of course, but we can make impact also geographically because the tourism is not distributed everywhere in Sardinia. There's some areas that are more famous, like Alghero or Costa Smeralda, that are more expensive. Everyone goes there, but the beauty is really everywhere. So there's a lot of small villages like this one that can be like we can have an impact because we are coming here, we're renting houses, we are spending money in restaurants, we are engaging with the locals. There's local gyms, local yoga teachers, workouts, and we are engaging with them. So if you do this in different small places everywhere around Sardinia, this is a big impact. And if you do this in different periods where usually houses are empty and locals are just waiting for the summer to start, this is an impact. You can totally change the things.
Oh, I love that. You know, I love this. You know, this is why we live. You was talking to my heart, and you know it. What I see, I'm following you guys like since you started, and now in the last days, as you mentioned, I'm seeing a lot of authentic experiences, and this is exactly what nomads are looking for, and we cannot always find it. So it's really cool that Fabio, as a local, can like make this bridge between nomads and locals. What are some of these activities besides the working out? But I see you, like, for example, you went to a place where you were buying cheese and traditional, like maybe a fair or something like that. What are some of these local activities that nomads would only be able to do because they are in such an experience with Casa Basilico?
So in Sardinia during spring, especially during spring, there's a lot of fairs like Sagre, we call it like this, that are like those local parties where basically all the producers of something like sausage, cheese, or whatever different kinds of sweet things, and wine, of course. They are just selling their goods, and at the same time you have all the folklore, so like the local costume, local music, and all of these things together. And we just choose a very famous one, that is Sagra del Torrone di Tonara. That is actually a place where I really wanted to go since years, and finally this time we managed to go. It's just a small town, few thousand people live there in the mountains, and was full of locals, of course, other people from Sardinia, but also some tourists. And we tried out a lot, like in one day, I think we tried almost everything
Yes.
we could try. And that was a real local experience. Like I tried to explain everything I could in just one day, about stuff that I grew up with, like the local dance or how the costume works, and the different kind of cheese. And they really enjoyed, because that was like a completely new things. And also a personal thing that I'm actually noticing is that I'm liking more this stuff. Like I'm
Yeah,
kind
got
of
it.
I'm able to see it. Yeah, I'm
Appreciating.
able to see it from a different perspective, so I'm appreciating way more. And that's actually something that will never be possible without this. So yeah, and other parties, let's say like local small villages parties like this, are all the way like for the entire spring going on. And we like almost every weekend we are gonna choose one and drive there and explore and eat probably.
Eat
There
and
is a
drink wine.
chance we will eat.
Yes.
I love it. When I was just checking, and I remember I saw the TV show about this. One of the special things about Sardinia is that it has one of the biggest blue zones in the world, which means that people in Sardinia live way longer than average.
Yeah.
You are there for
Yeah.
some time already. Can you see why? What's connecting people? What's special about that land that helps people live longer?
I'd say local food,
Yes.
because we don't import so many things, and there's no processed food. Like probably there's in the shop, but nobody's buying it. If you want some zucchini, or if you want some tomatoes, there's your neighbor that is producing it, and it gives to you in change of some cheese that you are producing.
Yes.
Everyone has olive oil, homemade wine. Everything is homemade. The bread, like my grandmother was doing bread for her entire life, for the entire house. So that's the thing that is changed. And the blue zone is actually in Ogliastra, that is exactly where we are right now. So
Oh, I like it.
let's hope let's hope that we are taking a little bit of this for us
Yes,
as well.
plus few years, hopefully. But actually, I think people are very active here as well. Like every time when we are working on the balcony, we can see people walking, running, riding a bike. There is like always someone moving, and a lot of old people are moving as well. So this is nice because I see in many countries when people get old, they just like close themselves in the house. And here, I think they just like take advantage of the fact that it's so beautiful that you have the nature and you can walk, you can use the sun. And I think like this is a perfect combination, like good organic food, a lot of sports, and then you live infinite.
One of
And
the
yeah, and an
go go
happy
go.
life,
Happy life, slow
because
life.
we take time to we take 1 hour if we want to take a coffee with a friend instead of staying like always focused on work. Maybe sometimes it's better to just slow down a little bit and enjoy
Yeah.
life.
Oh, 100%. I think one of the things I saw the whole documentary about blue zones, and I remember perfectly Italy. They were very shocked that these people with 105, 110 were drinking wine every day and chilling and
Yeah.
working in the, like you mentioned, the exercise. They were working in the field still. They had their own field. They were producing their own stuff at 105. It's like, what the hell? And another thing that I remember that changed even the way I think about community was they all mentioned that being able to leave the open doors and live in community the whole life is actually why they keep going out, why they keep exercising. This whole living in a village with the community around them was key. And as you guys know, I'm all about community. So I really think that having this environment in a village that I think we lost almost everywhere in the world, and being able to experience this through what you guys are offering is absolutely amazing. So, first experience in Italy. We are just starting. How is this experience like changing you entrepreneurs? Because this is not your full-time job, I think, yet. You still, Jules has an agency, right? Marketing agency still going.
Yeah.
Fabio also has a job, right? Kind of.
Yes, I'm an engineer.
You are an
We are
engineer.
quite busy. That's
And at the same time, you guys are building this experience, managing the community, gathering the locals, cooking a lot and drinking a lot of wine. How is this experience like changing you and how even how you see your life right now?
I think it's now after these few days and actually organizing everything from actually a vision and like a nice concept and idea that we had and we talked about. Now we face the reality of it. So we just saw like all behind the scenes how much work it actually takes to organize everything. And because it was so important for us and like we put all our hearts in this, we just spent hours and hours on organizing it all. And I keep like laughing that Fabio is like becoming a Notion expert because all our information is in Notion. And if somebody asks, "What are we doing tomorrow?" Fabio's always like, "Check the Notion page." So it's very funny that we are actually learning like on the go, like management. And I think from both our jobs, like we're trying to find like some tools that we have to actually use it in Casa Basilico to organize time for people. And I think it's working pretty well. We are really busy.
we are extremely busy.
Like we wake up super early, we try to do the wellness walk in the morning, but it's not too long. And then like we literally like today we were laughing because we had to like I was doing a new website and Fabio was helping me with the domain, and we literally booked in our calendars to like a slot to do this together, even though we sit next to each other in the table. So that's a bit crazy.
Yeah, it's quite hard. We're putting everything together. It's complicated. I would say that the beginning, the starting was tough, the first days. But after now we are getting more in the routine, and also people are pretty independent. They do whatever they want. They are we just gather all together at some point for lunch or dinner, and then in the weekends when we have to do some activities. And most of the logistics are quite easy because I speak the language, so I can call someone in Italian and just try to get a good deal for a boat trip, something like that. So yes, now it's starting to get a little bit easier, and we are helping each other a lot because otherwise it would have been impossible. And there's my girlfriend here as well that I met in Banana House in Madeira. Otherwise would have been extremely hard doing everything, all of this in this scale.
Yeah.
I love it's like a passion project, like, well, a very time consuming and very hard passion project. You guys could choose golf, but you decide to create a community in Sardinia. Life choices. But I really like that you are like that you lived, you experience it and you build your own version, and that you are growing your own version, and that you are learning. And that's the only way to actually do it is learning, improve, learn, improve, learn, improve. There is no other way. So, well, we are just starting, I know, but we need to speak about the future because I think you guys are doing an incredible job. I do see like people are very happy. Not sure if because the food, the wine. I'm not sure about the weight. I think you should do a exercise community after this. You should like do food community, exercise community, food community, something like that. Because I think Italy sounds very dangerous to me, but I do envy everybody who is there right now. But what about the future? Have you thought about it? Do you want to stay there and do it more times there? Are you planning to do it in different places in Sardinia, or maybe just maybe around the world? What do you have in mind?
We are nomads, so we want to continue to explore the world. So in my opinion, Sardinia will always be like the important place. Like we will be here again more and more, hopefully, because the place is just perfect, and this is a place where I want to share my culture. And apparently a lot of people likes it. So why don't share it? And but at the same time, we love to travel. We want to keep exploring.
Yeah.
So probably we will keep traveling together. We will discover a new place. We will test it together. Try to meet people there, and then if it's a good match, we can make another pop-up community there for a few months with the people that follow us, people that already know us, maybe cook together, explore the culture, and then go in another place.
Yeah, I think the beauty of the project, and I think why it was successful, it was because nothing was super strict and planned, and we weren't overthinking any of this. So I think it was just like it came like during the experience. So Sardinia came up when we were in Madeira, and who knows, maybe we'll come up because we'll meet someone from somewhere,
Yes.
and the next destination will pop up. Like we are trying our best to also like balance this, because as we said, we both have full-time jobs, and we sometimes, like, I am running my own company, so I sometimes have to, you know, like skip the nights to survive. But I think it's about like what we think at the moment will be best to do pop-up co-living, and then, for example, do a month or two of break so we can both recharge a bit and then come back to it. But of course, like after this 3 months, it's a test, it's a first one, so we will see how we feel about it. Or maybe it will be the case that we cannot live without people anymore, and we will get crazy if we go alone to rest. So maybe we'll have to renew it again very quickly.
I remember at some point in Madeira, I was like in December, I was quite tired to be like every day with a lot of people, and I said, okay, I will take a few days by myself. So I took like 5-6 days alone, and I recharged my battery. And at some point, I realized, like at the 5th day, I was. I really need people, and I was at the shop, and there were two hitchhikers, and I wanted to pick up them just to have a chat with new people. In the end, it's like this: if we are doing this, even if we are busy, even if it can be stressful, it's because we like that. We like to be around people here, and we would like to be around people in the new country, the next country, who knows where.
I have some ideas, but I'll leave that for the offline part. Because I do think you guys are a super team, and you both are superstars on your own version. Like I know I met Jules as community manager. I met Fabio as here's like superstar out of nowhere. Everybody was speaking about Fabio, so it's this charismatic guy that everybody loves. And you two together are an absolute super team. That you are friends and are building stuff together only makes me happy and very excited for your future. So the key question here is, where can people find and register for Casa Basilico?
You are the community manager.
And the social media manager. So we have our Instagram page, Casa Basilico Co-living, where there is a link to our website as well, and you can find all the information in there. And yeah, we are available 24/7. Like I'm always on my phone, so whenever you like send us a DM on Instagram or like ping us on the email that is on the website, we will reply very quickly. So yeah, everything is there, all the concept of our values, like you can find everything really. And we are a bit addicted to sharing stories on Instagram, so if you follow us, you will see every minute of our life here in Italy.
You will see a lot of food. It will be quite hungry.
I know, which I love, but I have a love-hate relationship with your Instagram. As being here in Madeira, I was commenting before, I do need to go to Sorrento, which is an amazing pizza place here, because you guys keep showing great food and wine. And I was like, I need little bit of this. So I need to go to a proper pizza place here in Madeira, so I can at least dream that I'll be there with you guys. This is all. Thank you so much for accepting to be part of our podcast. This will be streamed globally, so just that you know. So this will be very, very interesting. I just want to appreciate you, congratulate you. I know you guys will. I am 100% sure that you guys are one of my kind of favorite projects. Meaning, from time to time, we interview a lot of famous people inside the movement, like Chase, Mitko, which is actually the last week episode. But one of the goals of this the remote work movement podcast is to show people like you, to give the stage and to show the world what you guys are doing, because I'm a fan, honestly. So thank you so much for accepting to join us, and it was a big pleasure.
It's a
Thank you for
pleasure.
having us.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap. Tell me, as promised, aren't you really, really, really looking for some pasta, pizza, and white wine after this interview? I know I am. And if you look at the YouTube channel, you'll see the video, and that background looks unbelievable. So, if you like this, make sure you send this to a friend. Make sure you visit Casa Basilico website and social media so you can book your foodie pop-up community in Sardinia. It's unbelievable. I'm so proud of this project, and both Julia and Fabio are superstars inside the nomad movement. You don't want to miss this first project. About us, we see you next week with a new guest. I'm very excited to have you here every single week, learning from the top of the top, the best of the best of the remote work movement. Be epic.